We got a pub, the Bull Inn in Much Hadham. We serve, I'd like to think, restaurant quality food. Got really good chefs in the kitchen who have worked high level of Michelin and AA Rosette restaurants. They're doing fantastic things in the kitchen. A really warm, friendly service. We've got a fantastic team front of house. All really sort of care about the pub, care about the village, care about the community, and sort of, we're here to sort of do a service for them, really.
This episode is supported by the Bishop Stortford community newsletter. There's so much happening in town, it's hard to keep up. New businesses opening, community events, local stories, and opportunities for all of us to get involved and make Bishop Stortford a great place to live. That's why we created a free weekly newsletter that brings together the best of Bishop Stortford in one place. There's no endless scrolling, no hunting through Facebook groups, just the stories, events, and local updates that matter. If you'd like to stay connected to what's happening in Bishop Stortford, sign up using the link in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends shaping our town and community. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Joe. Joe, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Joe, for those of us who don't know you yet, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
So, I'm about 15 minutes outside Bishop Stortford. We've got a pub in Much Hadham, which is, one of the nice little villages that's just outside. So, talking to the people who are looking to just nip out 15 minutes for a Sunday lunch or something. But yeah, we've got a pub, the Bull Inn in Much Hadham. We serve, I'd like to think, restaurant quality food. Got really good chefs in the kitchen who have worked high level of kind of Michelin and AA Rosette restaurants. They're doing fantastic things in the kitchen. A really warm, friendly service. We've got a fantastic team front of house. All really sort of care about the pub, care about the village, care about the community, and sort of, we're here to sort of do a service for them, really.
Fantastic. Now, you've just gone through a refurbishment, haven't you, Joe?
Yeah, so that was just a little under a year ago. So yeah, it's a very different pub now to what it was before. Quite a big project, really. Sort of moving what used to be the bar area is now the restaurant, and the restaurant area is now the bar. So it's quite a big change around. It changed the sort of food we do now as well. Trying to still wanted to keep it, really a nice country pub feel. But yeah, just a little bit more kind of elevated and take off. Was when we sort of moved in a couple of years ago, it was a pub that had been not very well looked after for a few years. It did need, the community really wanted something that they could be proud of. Hopefully that's what we have now.
Well, the reviews coming out of it are fantastic, aren't they? People that I've spoken to that have popped in have said it's been, brilliant. I think you had the Rising Tide there do a group.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. No, we had them for a group. That. Yeah, no, she's lovely.
So that was great. And you've won an award as well recently?
So we're part of our pub is under the Punch Taverns. So we basically run the pub, but we rent it off of Punch, and they own about 2,000 pubs, something like that, over the country. And yeah, we won the best food award. So yeah, they came out 3 or 4 times to judge, and like what we were doing. So that was nice. Hopefully the first of many. I think I take no credit for it. The guys who do all the work, but it is worth, a trip down. It is worth the awards because, what the guys do in the kitchen and, what the guys do front of house as well. They do work really hard, and I think what we're producing is top notch, to be honest.
Wonderful. I think it's really interesting.
But very little of that has got to do with me, to be honest.
No, but it's great though, because in that role, aren't you? It's almost like a collaboration between what you're doing with the pub and then the chefs, and making sure that works together, and that
absolutely,
it's a space that people want to come to and spend time and spend their money.
Definitely.
People talk about gastro pubs. Is that quintessentially what you're aiming to be?
Yeah, I think so. I think kind of like, one of those little labels that you want to we want to be what you want it to. If you want to just turn up and have a drink at the bar, the bar area, I want it to feel just as comfortable that you can come in, have a pint, bowl of fries. At the same time, if you want to come into the restaurant and you want to sit down and you want to have 3 courses and wine, we're delivering on that as well, So, yeah, I would say we are a gastro pub, but, I think our bar area, is still just a good quality pub as well.
Yeah, I understand. And the community of Much Hadham, they're obviously crying out for what you're delivering. What have they been saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, the feedback's been really good. You do kind of, you want to listen to the people who you're, serving all the time, and, we try and listen to to everyone, and you obviously can't do everything, and you've got to kind of everyone's something that is just undeliverable from the building we've got. The building does have its challenges. It's small, it's old. The kitchen's albeit we've had quite a big refurb in the kitchen, it's still quite a small kitchen, low ceilings. So the building just comes with its own challenges. But we try and do as much as we can from this building.
Most business owners I speak to say the same thing about AI. We don't know what we don't know. You may be losing hours every week to slow follow-up, repeated admin, and tasks that still depend on you, the business owner. My AI blind spot assessment finds where AI could make the biggest difference to your business. Give me 90 minutes and we may uncover hundreds of hours you could save over the next year. Check out the link in the show notes or drop me a message directly. Okay, back to the show. Brilliant. Joe, we don't have to include this in the podcast, but one of my mates said that you found an elephant.
No.
Have I got this wrong?
No, so what happened was we're having a refurb. Well, our garden's had a bit of a refurb, but at the back of the pub, they're building some new houses and bungalows and things. So what happened is there's been an old wives' tale for years that in our pub garden, going back probably in the 18th century, a circus troupe came through. One of the circus elephants died in the garden. They buried it. And apparently there is some truth to this as well. There was elephants coming through and there was a circus troupe come through. But whether there's a buried elephant in the garden, I'm not sure. Yeah, on April Fool's Day, I put it out on social media because they were digging up out the back of the workmen there. And I'm surprised how many people believed it, actually. But there's actually been no evidence of any elephants found.
Brilliant. I think it's such a great story. It's... Well, wives' tale. Fantastic.
But there may well be. We don't know.
Brilliant. So what's the future hold, Joe? You've gone through this refurb. You won the award. What does it look like over the next couple of years? Yeah,
so I mean, hopefully, I think in this industry, you're trying to improve every day, every week, every month. You're always trying to, add a little string to your bow and add, new things to the menu and different styles in the service and everything. So just to keep growing, really, keep moving forward. It's kind of feeling in this industry, unless you're moving forward, you are moving backwards. So yeah, just to keep doing what we're doing. We were looking at sort of other venues and things a little while back, but I think the way things are at the minute, we're really focusing on this one for a bit. The ultimate goal is to sort of, look for another venue, be it Bishop Stortford or somewhere. Love to have a place in Stortford. Just at the minute, we're kind of just, making sure we get this one right and make sure, everything's running smoothly here. But yeah, I suppose that's, for anyone who's sort of in business, you're kind of always looking for the next thing, aren't you?
I understand. And what about the current conditions? Lots of businesses on the high street are struggling. We see businesses that are closing all the time. What's your trading conditions like, and how might they be improved, through the help of local government or local councils or central government? How can they all help with the work that you're doing?
I mean, it's difficult at the minute because, unfortunately these days, you can have a busy pub and people come in and they see a busy pub. They assume, you're raking it in. Unfortunately, it's not the case. You're kind of just, I think if most hospitality people are honest, you're kind of, if you're keeping your head above the water, you're doing really well at the minute, because there's just so many factors that are kind of, making it. Food inflation, it's one of those things, just making it incredibly difficult for us. Because we try and keep our menu prices to a point, but unfortunately, you'll be out of business so quickly if you don't, have the right price for it. I think, all the increases in the national insurance and the business rates, it's just everything's kind of come, and it's all come quite quickly. Kind of like, it's been hard to kind of keep up with all the price rises. And then you're trying to kind of not look like you're too wildly expensive for people to want to come out, because ultimately people in hospitality, we just want people to come in and taste what we produce and enjoy our hospitality. And you don't want to feel like you're too expensive. But it's hard. Everywhere is expensive now, isn't it? I think everywhere you go, you're seeing it because people have to be to survive.
Yeah. And there's a campaign at the moment that lots of hospitality businesses are kind of getting behind in order to help cut the VAT.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
is that right?
VAT's the problem. It's called. It was headed by Tom Kerridge. He's looking to swing the VAT rate from 20% down to 10%, which is in line with the majority of Europe, to be honest with you. For some reason, we're the outliers. It's just one of those things where, when we go out and we purchase food, we can't claim that money back. So it kind of, every time the VAT bill comes round every quarter, it's a bit of a killer, really, to be honest with you. And if we get a bit of help back, it doesn't all go in my pocket. We hire more staff and we invest back into the pub, try and improve. And this is what, businesses are really struggling with, I think, at the minute, is that they're not, everyone's a bit wary to hire extra people and to maybe, do the little things they want to do to grow the business, and I think that helping VAT rate would kind of give people the chance to just invest in their business a bit more and hope grow the economy, because that's kind of what they wanted to do, wasn't it? Growing the economy. But hospitality is one of the first places where, people coming out to get jobs, and young people, they really rely on hospitality for their start in employment. And it's becoming more and more difficult for us to, unfortunately, employ the young people now. And, I think that's a great shame, really.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I know the campaign has got an awful lot of eyeballs on it. You never know with the changes that are going on in Westminster whether or not that becomes more of something that actually is going to happen.
Fingers crossed,
stimulates the money, doesn't it? But it's also the confidence that you've got in actually that things are moving in a direction that you can invest it properly in your own business. And I think that's something that all small business owners are thinking about doing all the time. I really hope that works out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just think, you're right in what you say. I think every time there's been a new budget under this current government, and it's been going on for years, but every time there's been a budget, kind of just absolutely clobbered us. And hospitality employers are just really sort of struggling to going at the minute. And it is everyone, unfortunately. There are places that are super, super busy and that are doing well. But the top places, I'm looking at the top people in our industry, and they're all saying the same. They've got Michelin star restaurants. They've got huge brands that are kind of well known all over the country. They're all struggling. So it is a problem in governance, I think, rather than what the people are doing.
Yeah. Well, as locals, the way we can support you is by coming out, having a beer, having a glass of wine, sitting down, eating some food.
Absolutely.
Where can we find you online to make sure that we can book a spot?
Oh God, yeah. So what's the Ball Much Hadham? That's our website. You can book on there. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what our Instagram or our TikTok handles are. I think probably. Let me have a look. The Ball Much Hadham sounds about right. I'll stick a link on there for us.
Yeah, I'll find them. I'll put them all in the show notes. Don't you worry about
that. That's brilliant. Yeah,
about that, Joe. No problems. Joe, are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This episode is being supported by one of my businesses, a brilliant local business called StortBox. If you've ever moved house, you'll know the pain of hunting for cardboard boxes, building them, taping them up, and then figuring out what to do with them afterwards. StortBox makes moving simpler with strong, reusable moving crates delivered straight to your door and collected when you're finished. Less stress, less waste, and a much easier move. It's a local business helping local people move smarter. So have a look at StortBox in the show notes below and see if it can make your next move a little bit easier. Okay, back to the episode. Awesome. These are 3 super fast questions that we ask every guest that comes onto the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast. Yeah. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say and who needs to hear it the most?
I would stick a poster up for the That's the Problem campaign, and I would say, help out all the hospitality businesses in Bishop Stortford because they're all suffering the same pressures at the minute, so they all need as much help as they can get. And they are the lifeblood of Bishop Stortford. Like, what a wonderful place Bishop Stortford. How lucky are we that we could just walk around the amount of coffee shops and everything, but they all need help.
Yeah, all those independent business owners, people that have gone out on their own.
Absolutely.
To try and make their community a better place. Let's support them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Okay, question 2. Where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
Well, I think I'm too late because it is already really popular, but the Green Dot Cafe, I used to work, like Sharon and Stuart who run that place, I used to work for them years ago, and they're just fantastic people. They've got a great team. Food's brilliant. Coffee's amazing. And it's just a lovely little place to go and sit and have breakfast and have a coffee in the morning. And they're just lovely people. And like I say, I used to work for Sharon and learnt so much from her in the past. She's a fantastic. She's also got Tisdall's, the hairdresser next door, and she just runs a fantastic business. And it's just a lovely place to go.
Lovely shout out. We've had lots of shout outs at Green Dot Cafe. I haven't been able to feature them yet on the podcast, but they do collaborate with loads of other people in the area would be great to shine a light on them. Definitely. Thanks for that, Joe.
No worries.
Okay, last question. Who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
My mate Adam at the Cock, just up the road from the Green Dot Cafe. He's got a fantastic little pub there. He's a brilliant landlord. He's helped us out a lot when I run out of beer and anything like that. He's the guy I call to, bail me out. And he's just a really good, well-run pub, and he's just a really, really good landlord. If I ever need a bit of advice or anything, he's the guy I'll call because he just knows it all, and he's brilliant.
Fantastic. Is there quite a nice network of owners around the community, around Stortford and the Hadhams?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, definitely. I mean, just those two places that I've mentioned alone, really. Sharon and Adam, they know each other, and I think that's what makes that the whole of Bishop Stortford, but that little area up in Hockrell's fantastic because there's just some really lovely little businesses up there, and everyone's, I think, supports each other quite a lot, don't they? And it's a nice little place to, where I'm going in for a pint with Adams, and then I'll walk down the road and have a coffee with Sharon. It's just, it's lovely.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Joe. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. Last chance, where's the best place for people to find you online? What's your URL?
It's theballmuchhadham.co.uk.
Brilliant. And we can go on there, book tables.
Check out there's a link in there to book a table, and you can see all our menus and a little bit about us and everything. It's all there.
Fantastic. I do advise people, have a look at it, check it out. Have a little drive out to Much Hadham and check it out because it's a fantastic place to be, and just on our doorstep as well. Thanks ever so much, Joe.
No, thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it.
No worries. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to support us, the show, is to hit follow. Leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, wherever you're watching this, and then share it on your socials so more people can head out to the ball. Or maybe share it with someone in town who's not on social media, but you think might deserve a little treat to pop out to Much Hadham and see Joe and the team there. And if you've got a local legend, someone who's helping local businesses, supporting other local businesses that you think we should feature next on the podcast, drop their name in the comments underneath this, and I can reach out to them, invite them on. Again, Joe, thank you so much for joining us on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, Joe.
Bye-bye.